When you think of a global superpower, is the United Kingdom the first name that pops into your head? Maybe not, right? But its influence, well, it's way more complex than its size might suggest. So, the real question is, just how powerful is the UK, really? Let's get into it.
To really get a handle on the UK's power today, you've got to wrap your head around this huge contradiction. On the one hand, you look at it now and you see a pretty small island nation, but then you look back at its history and you see the biggest empire the world has ever known. That kind of legacy, that kind of power, it doesn't just disappear. No, it transforms.
So, first things first, let's just look at the UK today. I mean, purely in terms of how much space it takes up on a map. The UK clocks in at just over 242,000 square kilometers. Now, when you put that next to giants like Russia or the United States, it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? It seems kind of modest. But here's the thing, that number, it's not even close to the whole story.
Yeah, because that modest size is hiding a seriously colossal past. And if we want to understand the UK's influence today, we have to rewind the clock and look at the unbelievable empire it used to run. So, just how big are we talking here? I mean, when the British Empire was at its absolute peak, how vast was it? Honestly, the scale of it is pretty tough to even wrap your head around, even now.
Get ready for this. At its height, the British Empire controlled 24% of the Earth's total land mass. Let that sink in for a second. Nearly a quarter of all the land on the entire planet. That is just a staggering, unbelievable level of dominance.
And that sheer scale makes it, without a doubt, the largest empire in all of human history. Period. No other power, not before, not since, has even come close to that kind of global reach.
But you know how it goes. Empires don't last forever. And the next part of this story is a total reversal. It's about the Great Shrinking, the incredibly dramatic decline of all that territory.
How dramatic. Well, the modern United Kingdom has lost, wait for it, 99% of its former territories. Just think about that, 99% gone. The scale of that change is something you just don't see in history.
So, the obvious question is, did all that power just disappear into thin air, or did it just change its shape? Because as the empire pulled back, something new started to take its place. A new kind of influence, one that wasn't about direct control, but about a shared legacy. And the key to this new kind of influence? It's called the Commonwealth of Nations. So what is it? Well, it's basically a political club of 56 countries. And the vast majority of them? Yep, former parts of the British Empire. It's become this really powerful network for diplomatic cooperation and, shared values.
And we're not talking about small players here. This network includes huge countries like Canada, India, and Australia, plus tons of other nations all over Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Now, they're all totally independent, of course, but they're connected by that shared history and often similar political and legal systems. And that connection, it creates some seriously deep diplomatic and economic bonds.
So what all this really shows us is a super important idea. Influence isn't just about owning territory. It comes in a lot of different forms. The UK might have lost its physical empire, but through something like the Commonwealth, it's found a way to stay uniquely relevant on the world stage. So, when you look at the whole story of the United Kingdom, from the biggest empire ever to the center of this massive global network, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is power ever actually lost, or does it just transform into something else?